They say women are born with strength, the kind that builds families, holds communities together, and survives pain no one else even sees. But behind that strength, millions of women quietly battle health issues that never make headlines until it's too late. She might look healthy on the outside, raising children, managing work, caring for everyone else, but inside her body could be whispering early signs of trouble that no one's paying attention to. Today, we're uncovering the 5 most overlooked female health issues that every woman and every man who loves a woman should know about. Each one is scientifically proven, completely manageable when caught early, and often disguised as ordinary tiredness or stress. So before you scroll away or think, "This doesn't apply to me," pause. Because these silent diseases don't wait for permission. They grow quietly, year after year, until they rewrite the story of your life. Let's start with one of the most misunderstood, misdiagnosed, and under-talked about issues in women's health.
Number 5. Thyroid disorders. When your body's engine starts to stall. Imagine your thyroid gland as a small butterfly sitting at the base of your neck, delicate but powerful. It controls how fast your body burns calories, how your heart beats, and even how you feel when you wake up. When it works perfectly, you barely notice it. But when it slows down or speeds up, everything in your body starts to feel off. According to the American Thyroid Association, 1 in 8 women will develop a thyroid disorder at some point in her life, often after pregnancy or around menopause. And yet, most women don't find out until years later. Why? Because the symptoms hide in plain sight. You feel tired all the time? Must be stress. You're gaining or losing weight without trying? Maybe hormones. Your hair's thinning, your mood swings, your periods change? Probably aging, right? That's exactly how the thyroid hides. There are 2 main types: hypothyroidism, underactive, where the gland slows down, making you feel sluggish, cold, and mentally foggy, and hyperthyroidism, overactive, where it speeds up, causing anxiety, heat intolerance, and rapid heartbeat. Both can cause anxiety, irregular cycles, infertility, and heart issues if ignored. But here's the hopeful part. Detection is simple. A basic blood test measuring TSH, T3, and T4 levels can reveal everything. And treatment, whether medication, iodine balance, or lifestyle adjustments, can restore your energy and mental clarity faster than you might expect. Doctors recommend women get thyroid levels checked every few years after 30 and annually if there's family history, pregnancy, or unexplained fatigue. Your thyroid might be tiny, but it's the engine that runs every cell in your body. When the engine falters, everything else follows. So if your energy feels off, don't blame age or stress. Check the engine first.
Number 4. Osteoporosis, the silent bone thief. Bones are living tissue, strong, flexible, constantly rebuilding themselves. But for millions of women, especially after 40, that balance quietly shifts. Calcium leaks faster than it's replaced, and the bones that once carried children, careers, and dreams begin to weaken from the inside. This is osteoporosis, literally meaning porous bone. The tragedy? You don't feel it happening. You don't wake up one morning and say, "My bones are weak." It creeps in silently until a small fall leads to a fracture, or you notice you've lost height, or your spine begins to curve. According to the National Osteoporosis Foundation, 1 in 2 women over 50 will suffer a fracture due to bone loss. And once a major fracture occurs, life never quite feels the same. Mobility declines, independence fades, and recovery can be painfully slow. But here's the hopeful truth. Osteoporosis isn't destiny, it's preventable. Science shows that bone density can be protected and even rebuilt with consistent habits. Calcium and vitamin D, not just from pills, but from real foods like yogurt, sardines, and leafy greens. Strength training, even simple resistance bands or bodyweight exercises, stimulate bone growth. Sunlight exposure, 15 minutes daily, helps natural vitamin D production. Avoiding smoking and excess caffeine both drain calcium from your bones. And here's a surprising fact. Women who start weight-bearing exercise even in their 50s or 60s still build stronger bones. It's never too late. Doctors recommend a bone density scan, or DEXA, for women over 50 or earlier if there's a family history or menopause symptoms. Your bones are your frame, the silent structure holding up everything you do. So protect them early before the thief of time steals their strength.
Number 3. PCOS, when hormones turn against you. Now let's talk about a condition that affects women long before midlife and shapes everything from fertility to confidence. Polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. It's one of the most common hormonal disorders in women, affecting about 1 in 10 according to the CDC. But despite being so common, it's often dismissed as just irregular periods. PCOS is more than that. It's a metabolic and hormonal imbalance where your ovaries produce too many androgens, the so-called male hormones, throwing off the entire system. Symptoms vary wildly: missed or heavy periods, acne and oily skin, weight gain around the abdomen, thinning hair or facial hair growth, mood swings, and anxiety. The most heartbreaking part? Many women spend years being told it's just stress or bad diet, when in reality, it's a chronic condition that needs a holistic approach. If untreated, PCOS raises the risk of diabetes, infertility, sleep apnea, and even heart disease later in life. But the solution isn't hopeless or extreme. Research shows that lifestyle medicine, nutrition, stress management, and regular activity can drastically reduce symptoms. A low glycemic diet, rich in fiber, lean proteins, and anti-inflammatory foods help stabilize insulin. Regular exercise improves hormonal balance. Adequate sleep regulates cortisol and reproductive hormones. And in some cases, medications like metformin or hormonal therapy can support fertility and metabolic control. Doctors now view PCOS not just as a reproductive issue, but as a lifelong metabolic condition that, if handled right, can transform health from the inside out. So if you or your partner struggles with unpredictable cycles, skin changes, or stubborn weight gain, don't ignore it. It's not just stress. It could be PCOS quietly shaping the next decade of health. Every one of these conditions, thyroid imbalance, bone loss, hormonal chaos, starts quietly. They whisper. They don't knock you down suddenly. They drain you slowly, day after day, until you forget what normal even feels like. But here's what the science also proves. The earlier you listen, the easier they are to reverse. You don't have to be a doctor to protect yourself. You just have to pay attention. In the next part of this video, we'll uncover 2 even more critical issues, the ones that top every global health chart, yet still surprise millions of women: breast cancer and heart disease. One is feared, the other is often ignored. Both can be beaten with awareness, timing, and one powerful habit change. Number 2. Breast cancer, the enemy that hides in familiar places. Every woman knows the word, but few truly understand how personal it can become until the day a doctor looks across the table and says the word positive. Breast cancer is the most common cancer among women in the United States and globally. According to the CDC and the American Cancer Society, 1 in 8 women will develop it at some point in her life. That number sounds frightening, but it also means 7 in 8 won't. And for those who do, survival rates have never been higher when it's caught early. The real danger lies in delay. Too often, the signs are missed or dismissed. a small lump that feels nothing serious, a change in breast shape or texture, itchiness or discharge that's brushed off as irritation. But each of these could be the body's first whisper that something is changing beneath the surface. Here's what experts say. Mammograms save lives. When detected at stage 1, the survival rate exceeds 90%. Yet many women still skip screenings out of fear, time, or simple neglect. Breast cancer doesn't always come with pain. Sometimes it's silent, slow, and disguised as normal. That's why doctors recommend annual mammograms after 40 and earlier for women with family history or genetic risk. But prevention goes beyond tests. Lifestyle matters, and studies confirm that women who maintain a healthy weight, eat antioxidant-rich foods, limit alcohol, and stay physically active have a lower risk of developing aggressive cancers. Foods rich in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, cabbage, and omega-3 fats like salmon and walnuts support natural hormonal balance and help the body neutralize toxins. And one more powerful truth. Emotional health plays a role too. Chronic stress, isolation, and lack of sleep can alter immune response and hormonal function, creating conditions cancer loves to grow in. So, breast health isn't just about exams and scans. It's about living in a body that feels safe, supported, and cared for every day. If there's one promise every woman should make to herself, it's this. I'll never be too busy to check. Because sometimes one 10-minute screening can add decades to a lifetime. Number 1. Heart diseases, the hidden killer of women. If there's one myth that continues to harm women worldwide, it's this. Heart attacks only happen to men. Nothing could be further from the truth. In reality, heart disease is the #1 cause of death among women, responsible for more lives lost than all cancers combined. According to the American Heart Association, roughly 1 in 5 female deaths in the U.S. are due to heart disease. Yet, most women don't recognize the signs until it's too late. Why? Because female heart attacks look different. They don't always involve the dramatic chest-clutching pain shown in movies. Instead, they can appear as unusual fatigue, nausea, shortness of breath, dizziness, jaw, neck, or back pain. These symptoms can appear weeks before an actual heart attack, but because they're subtle, women often ignore them. The silent story behind most female heart disease cases isn't fast food or cholesterol. It's stress. Years of emotional strain, hormonal changes after menopause, and chronic sleep deprivation all take a toll on the cardiovascular system. But here's the empowering side. Studies show that 90% of heart disease risk is preventable with daily habits. Simple, powerful steps like 30 minutes of walking 5 times a week, limiting salt and sugar, focusing on fresh foods, meditation and breathing to control cortisol and inflammation, routine checkups to monitor blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Even a single meal can influence your arteries for hours, so when you choose whole foods, your body thanks you almost immediately. And for women approaching menopause, estrogen decline makes arteries more vulnerable, so that's the time to double down on movement, hydration, and heart-nourishing foods like oats, nuts, berries, and olive oil. It's not about giving up life's pleasures. It's about learning how to protect the heart that's been protecting everyone else all these years. The hidden world of women's hygiene and hormonal balance. There's a side of women's health that rarely makes it into polite conversation, yet it affects nearly every woman, every day. Not in a dramatic, life-threatening way like cancer or heart disease, but in small, persistent ways that quietly shape comfort, confidence, and long-term wellness. We're talking about intimate hygiene, infections, and the delicate hormonal balance that keeps everything working smoothly. The invisible ecosystem inside every woman. Inside the female body exists one of the most perfectly balanced ecosystems in nature, the vaginal microbiome. It's home to billions of bacteria, mostly friendly ones called lactobacilli, that maintain an acidic environment to protect against infection. But this balance is fragile. Simple daily habits, scented soaps, tight clothing, poor hydration, even stress can disturb it. When the microbiome shifts, pH rises, and that's when problems begin: itching, odor, discharge, or urinary tract infections. According to the National Institutes of Health, nearly 75% of women experience at least one yeast infection in their lifetime, and many suffer recurrent episodes without understanding why. The hormonal connection. The surprising link? Estrogen. This key hormone doesn't just affect fertility and mood, it also helps nourish the vaginal wall and support healthy bacterial growth. During menopause, as estrogen levels fall, natural lubrication decreases and the protective flora thin out, leading to dryness, burning, and higher infection risk. Doctors call this genitourinary syndrome of menopause, or GSM, a common yet underdiagnosed condition. But it's treatable. Modern gynecology now encourages simple, science-based strategies. Use pH-balanced, fragrance-free cleansers instead of harsh soaps. Wear breathable cotton underwear and change promptly after workouts. Stay hydrated. Water maintains mucus moisture and flushes bacteria. Doctors recommend 1.5 to 2 liters daily, adjusted for climate and activity. Everyday products, hidden dangers in plain sight. Modern marketing often tells women that freshness comes from sprays, douches, or wipes. But research from the Canadian Journal of Human Health and the Environment found that fragranced feminine products often contain chemicals that disrupt hormones or trigger allergies. Doctors now warn, if it burns or tingles, it's probably damaging. The body doesn't need perfumed solutions, it needs balance. Even common habits like daily panty liners can trap moisture and heat, creating a breeding ground for bacteria. The best hygiene? Simplicity and airflow. And here's something rarely discussed: period care. Switching to organic cotton pads, tampons, or menstrual cups reduces exposure to dioxins and synthetic fibers that may irritate sensitive tissue. Cleanliness, comfort, and safety, not scent, should guide every choice. Hydration, gut health, and immunity. Many don't realize that gut health directly affects vaginal health. When gut bacteria are balanced, they help regulate estrogen metabolism and immunity. That's why diets rich in fiber, fermented foods, and antioxidants like berries, green tea, and leafy greens indirectly protect against recurring infections. Water also plays an unsung role. Dehydration thickens mucus and reduces the body's ability to wash away microbes. Doctors recommend 1.5 to 2 liters daily, adjusted for climate and activity. Lastly, stress, the silent saboteur of every system. Chronic cortisol surges alter immune and hormone signaling, leading to delayed periods, flare-ups of infections, and even changes in odor or discharge. The body doesn't separate emotional strain from physical response. Meditation, yoga, or even 15 minutes of deep breathing daily can help normalize cortisol and restore the hormonal rhythm that keeps women's health stable. So the next time someone calls self-care luxury, remember, it's biology. Peace of mind keeps your immune system on guard. The science of self-care. Health isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. A woman's body is designed with layers of intelligence, each protecting the next. But when modern life interrupts, with stress, pollution, hormones, chemicals, or neglect, those layers begin to fray. Science now shows that true prevention lies in small, consistent rituals that protect from the inside out. Eat real foods that fuel hormones, not packaged calories. Move daily. Exercise strengthens bones, circulation, and lymph flow. Sleep deeply. It's when the body repairs DNA, balances insulin, and detoxifies. Listen. Unusual discharge, odor, or fatigue are not normal. They're messages. The key isn't chasing youth, it's preserving function of the heart, bones, brain, skin, and microbiome. And as medicine advances, women are rewriting their own health stories, no longer waiting for a crisis, but creating prevention as a lifestyle. Community health programs, online screenings, home test kits, and telemedicine are empowering women everywhere to take charge early. Because the new era of women's health is not about silence. It's about data, discussion, and dignity. So whether you're 25 or 65, remember this. Hormonal shifts are normal. Infections are treatable. Screening saves lives. And balance, not perfection, is what real health feels like. Science has one clear message. Your body knows before the lab does. If you learn its language, the signals of fatigue, the rhythms of your cycle, the patterns of your mood, you'll always be one step ahead. Let's end the cycle of neglect and stigma that has kept women's health in the shadows. Let's replace embarrassment with education, silence with science, and fear with vigilance. Because every woman deserves not only to live longer, but to live healthier, cleaner, and in full harmony with her body.